morning. Today we are in Market Harborough in the Union Wharf, and we've come down here to hopefully pick up our freezer which we ordered last week, and it's coming to a shop called Appliance Corner who have agreed to take delivery for us. So when it arrives, all we've got to do is figure out how to get it down to the boat, probably on our shopping trolley or something. The arm of Market Harborough is a nice short arm. It's only about 5.5 miles, and we've been down here a couple of days, and Market Harborough itself is lovely. It's a market town, although it's an indoor market, and it has it's sort of spread out. It's a very prosperous town. There's no empty shops. You can tell that people live well here. There's a fantastic farm shop outside, a couple of minutes just outside Market Harborough, and we shall fill up our freezer once it arrives with produce from there. And the wharf itself is nice. I'll show you. Booking office for the wharf over there. Some nice modern housing tacked onto an old storehouse, as those are over there too, so they would have been all the old working stores down here. And then over there's a big carvery, nice place to sit and have a... We're desperate to get our freezer. When it packed up a few weeks ago, we had about a quarter of a lamb in there. I bought it before we came from the Sussex Downs. So we had to eat lamb every day for 3 or 4 days until we couldn't stand the sight of it anymore. And yeah, we had to chuck quite a bit of stuff away, and I hate wasting food. I think it's a sin to waste food, but it had to go. We'd made ourselves ill. Since then we've been eating fruit and veg, having to shop sort of daily, which isn't always easy on a boat, and eggs, lots of eggs, because they don't go off. We do have storage in the floor, which is cooler than the boat, but because the water's so warm, I mean the weather, it's been really humid and warm, and the water itself, it just hasn't got cold this year, and so under the floor isn't really cold enough to keep dairy stuff in, only for a couple of days maximum. Normally we put a couple of freezer packs in there from the freezer to keep the temperature down, but we haven't been able to do that. And we've also been using my Wonder Bag because they double up as cold storage, so we'd buy cold stuff, put it in the Wonder Bag and tie it up tight, and then that would keep it okay for a couple of days. But you can manage without a freezer or a fridge on the boat, but not both, so I can't wait for it to arrive. And then amazingly, the chap who owned the shop, called Ian, put it in his car and delivered it for us. What a star. Just before the freezer goes into place, Henry's got to fit the little casters on them so we can pull it in and out.
It shouldn't be too bad actually. It's got 8 holes to drill.
And after that, the chap from the Appliance Corner suggested that we drill some big holes in the door so that we get some good airflow, because the freezer will go in there. And although we've put holes at the back, he says that it needs more so it doesn't get overheated. So we'll be doing that tomorrow. Yay, we've got a freezer! This is a quick look around Market Harborough. The church, the old town hall, I expect. And then this is the back of the market where they have the food, cheese stall, meat, and a very, very good and cheap fruit and vegetable stall. But the best thing of all was the farm shop out on the edge of town. It has everything here, really good quality, a bit pricey admittedly, but you know, good food does cost. Had fish, meat, dry goods, beer, wine, everything. Well, that's it. With the freezer installed and topped up with a very expensive shop at the farm shop, we're off back up the arm again. If you're on a boat and you want to come down to Market Harborough, there are lots of moorings just outside the wharf and lots of water points as well, so you don't have to go down to the bottom and pay in order to enjoy the town. This section of canal up to Foxton Locks is very quiet and peaceful. Apart from at the end, there's almost no housing on it and consequently no rubbish in the water, so I can switch off. So I'm going to go up to the front and do a little bit of filming and show you what it looks like. Hello! Thank you! Oh, and we're just making a scheduled stop at a rather nice clump of blackberries over there. I've got a plan for these. One little swing bridge to go. There's no locks on this stretch of canal, just the one swing bridge. And Henry is doing it with caution because he cracked a rib on it the other day. One of those silly accidents. And we're coming up towards the end of the arm now. Foxton Locks is just beyond us. And we were debating whether to keep going and go up the locks today. But it looks like CRT are in the middle of the canal doing some work, so we might have to change our plans. Well, we got through, so we are continuing. Not entirely sure what they're doing there, but we managed to squeeze past, so that's the main thing. Looks like he's playing seesaw. He's not dredging. Oh, he's using the thingy to move himself along, isn't he? The grab arm. Well, we might have got to Foxton Locks a bit too late. The last boat's through at 3:15 and it's 3:10 now, so Henry's running up to try and find a lockie. In the meantime, he's coming along and the boat is rocking about so much stuff's falling off shelves. I don't know how far he's got to go, but it's going to take him a while to get anywhere. It'd be easier if someone pulled him along on a rope, I reckon. So funny watching that go up there. Wow, 10 minutes and we've done lock number 3. When we first came down the Foxton Locks a couple of months ago, you arrive at the top and all the countryside is spread out before you. But coming back this way, each time you go up another step of the locks, a little bit more is revealed. It's rather nice. And here we are nearly at the top lock. 35 minutes so far, which is pretty fast, I think. I think the guys want to get home. We've beaten that big thunderstormy looking cloud over there. And Barry, if you're watching this, I've cleaned the lenses. Top of the locks. Another good reason to do the Foxton locks today was I'd just put a cake in the oven, and the time it took to get up the locks was the same time as it took to make this blackberry and sage slice, a recipe that I found in the Guardian the other week. You want to come and live with us? Having a spruce up.
Well, just daily clean, get the mainly bird poo off, because otherwise it eats into the paint.
Yes, and it goes horribly hard, doesn't it? It's such a long boat to walk along, this one.
That's how I get my step count up every day.
So up and off, not very early, to another. It's very early, yes, 10:30. Leaving Kate and Ken behind us on Dazeless, who may be following us down later. We got a slight wine head this morning as we spent the evening with them on the boat, which was very nice, because as friendly as the canals are, it's not very often you get to meet people and actually go and socialise with them on their boats, which I was quite surprised about. And it's a really nice thing to do, and who doesn't want to see other people's boats? So that was nice. Today we've discovered another little arm called the Welford arm, and it's a really tiny one. It's about 1.25 miles, and it's 7 miles and one shallow lock and a long tunnel. So quite an easy day really, just as well. So that's where we should end up tonight. And maybe Kate and Ken will be there too. We shall see. It's so nice to be able to see such a long distance, because quite often the canals are enclosed with trees. You can see miles right away to church steeples and villages. Wind farm over there. Fantastic clouds. But it is going to rain a lot later, so that's what's coming in. Oh, suddenly we're at the Welford arm and I nearly missed it. Nearly went herring round there. Here we are. Welford 1 3/4, I think. Ooh, so let's see what delights this has to offer us. This tiny little arm. Well, so far it looks like we have this canal totally to ourselves. There's no other boats. Just seen one walker. It's very in the middle of the countryside. I don't know what there's going to be at the end. Welford is known for the Battle of Naseby, which was a couple of miles away, and that's where Cromwell's New Model Army beat the Royalists. That's all I know about it. The people walking just down behind us have said that there's lots of otters down here, and you can see little muddy skid marks on the side where they come in and out at night. That would be really cool to see an otter. It's lovely here, it's like Hobbit's land. We may turn around and come back and moor here later, because this is all mooring there. But we're going to go to the end and see what else there is. First boat we've seen. Just in case we're not sure where we are. The wharf in at the end of the line, or the end of the arm, which is a very friendly pub, apparently. We may find out later. We're going to take a little walk into the village now over this rather sweet little bridge. Not sure why that sign's there. And as we come over the bridge, we find we're actually in Northamptonshire. So we're obviously standing on the borderline here. All the little villages you come to have their own notice board, which is a slice of life. Always a WI. Lots of coffee mornings and of course the yoga class. A picture perfect pink cottage. Gorgeous. Well, that's called Butcher's Cottage. And that's the old post office. So all these old businesses have become houses, but there is still a small village store down there. Beautiful stand of birches. This is Welford Pocket Park. And that was Welford Village. Small, but rather nice. A lot of traffic going through it, which is a bit of a shame, but pretty little village. Just next to Welford is part of the Jurassic Way footpath. We're just going to do a bit of it today. It's actually 88 miles long and goes from Banbury to Stamford near Lincoln, or in Lincolnshire anyway. And Henry tells me that, well, it's a limestone ridge, which Henry tells me is crushed bones and things. Anyway, this bit goes across a reservoir, so we thought we'd come and check it out. The fish grow big around here. Oh my God, I wouldn't swim in a lake with that in it. These reservoirs that we're walking beside are owned by Canal and River Trust, and they're looking rather low. They feed the Welford Arm that we've just come down, so although that seems fine for water, the feeder reservoirs are definitely looking like they need some substantial rainfall.
Yeah.
So there's a sensor here, and I suppose that keeps an eye on the level over there, and then probably operates this to open the sluice. You can see how high the water has been by the line of twigs around there. That's a huge volume of water to have disappeared. And there we are out of the arm again. And it was surprisingly busy down there. We narrowly missed them coming out the end. And some others that have just gone down there coming around the corner. So it was a mix and a muddle on that junction for a minute there. But we all missed each other with a good-natured smile. And we're off now towards Yelvertoft. Last night, the narrowboat Daedalus caught up with us again, and we had a lovely evening in the pub down at the Basin on the Welford Arm. Really nice pub. Good food as well. I mean, a bit better than normal pub grub, I'd say. And today we're just pootling along with no particular place to be. What Henry doesn't know, which I can say now, is that he has a very big birthday coming up next week. Not one that he particularly wants to celebrate, but we're going to celebrate it anyway. So I have booked Wigram's campsite, and all of our friends are going to come up for the weekend. we can moor right outside. And so I have got to get us to Napton on the Hill in a timely fashion. I'd like to get there a day or two before so I can go and check it out. And I've got to come up with a reason for going along through Braunston, because we're supposed to be going home down the Grand Union Canal, so H will wonder why we're going that way, but he does really like Braunston, so I'll come up with something. In the meantime, it's quite nice, no particular plans for the next couple of days, except just not to get down to Napton too quickly. Well, that's it for this video. It's gone on long enough. I do try to keep them under 20 minutes and this has overrun a little, I think. Anyway, do subscribe if you can. Thanks for watching. See you next week. Bye for now.